The BBC is facing a growing staff boycott after the controversial decision to take host Gary Lineker off Match of the Day. A number of BBC football shows across TV and radio have been taken off air after presenters pulled out in solidarity with Lineker, who was removed by the BBC in a row over impartiality. Final Score and Football Focus were pulled from BBC One on Saturday after their respective hosts, Jason Mohammed and Alex Scott, said they would not host their shows. BBC 5 Live's Fighting Talk also did not air on Saturday morning for what host Colin Murray said were obvious reasons, and radio host Mark Chapman withdrew from hosting BBC Radio 5 Live Sport. Sky News understands Saturday's Match of the Day will only last 20 minutes, with no pundits or commentary. Match of the Day until an agreed and clear position on his social media use is made, the BBC said on Friday. After he compared the language used to launch a new government asylum policy with 1930s Germany. He instead attended the Leicester vs. Chelsea match at King Power Stadium on Saturday afternoon. Let's see what happened exactly. What did Lineker say? Lineker is known for his center-left political leanings, and hasn't been afraid to express his opinions in public, mostly on his Twitter account which, at the time of writing, has over 8.7 million followers. However, this latest furor was sparked after he criticized the Conservative government's most recent anti-immigration policy, put forward by Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and Home Secretary Sala Braverman. Good heavens, this is beyond awful, he tweeted about a video of Braverman explaining that asylum seekers who arrive in the UK in small boats would not just be denied asylum, but also access to a range of other rights, and would be returned to their own country if safe or, if not, a third country. First we see Home Secretary Sala Braverman's video.
Last year, over 45,000 people made the unsafe, unnecessary, and illegal journey across the Channel. Our asylum system has been overwhelmed. We're now spending almost £7 million a day on hotels. Stopping the boats is one of the 5 promises the Prime Minister has made to the British people, and it's my top priority. That's why, today, I'm announcing a new illegal migration bill to do exactly that. The Prime Minister and I have been working flat out for months to bring this legislation to Parliament. This bill will mean that if you come here illegally, you will not be able to stay. You will be detained and removed to your home country if safe, or a safe third country like Rwanda. We are committed to helping those in need, like the hundreds of thousands of people we have supported from Ukraine, Afghanistan, and Hong Kong in recent years. But it's not fair that people who travel through a string of safe countries and then come to the UK illegally can jump the queue and game our system. This bill will bring an end to that. Enough is enough. We must stop the boats.
Lineker tweeted to this video. Good heavens, this is beyond awful, he tweeted about a video of Braverman explaining that asylum seekers who arrive in the UK. Lineker then responded to another Twitter user. We take far fewer refugees than other major European countries. This is just an immeasurably cruel policy directed at the most vulnerable people in language that is not dissimilar to that used by Germany in the 30s, and I'm out of order?
What was the reaction to Lineker's tweet? In a word, feverish. It should be made clear that Lineker received widespread support for his stance, with many believing he was expressing erudite and compassionate opposition to the government's policy. Others were not so impressed. Beyond the media commentariat, including a range of people who would usually describe themselves as free speech advocates, those in government pushed back against Lineker's views. Sunak said, "It's obviously disappointing to see someone whose salary is funded by hard-working British taxpayers using the kind of rhetoric and seemingly dismissing their legitimate concerns that they have about small boats crossings and illegal migration." Braverman, addressing Lineker's comparison to the language used by Germany in the 30s, said, "To throw out those kinds of flippant analogies diminishes the unspeakable tragedy that millions of people went through, and I don't think anything that is happening in the UK today can come close to what happened in the Holocaust. So I find it a lazy and unhelpful comparison to make." Why is it a problem for the BBC? The BBC is funded by the license fee, an annual levy collected by the government that everyone who owns a television or radio in the UK is supposed to pay. But, while it is technically independent of the state, officially BBC employees are supposed to be politically neutral, which is where Lineker has encountered some problems. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe.